Imagine being only 12 and 13 years old and finding yourself behind bars, convicted as the youngest adult killers in the United States. In this video, we'll unravel the dark and shocking story of Curtis and Catherine Jones, siblings who committed a brutal murder before they were even teenagers. We'll explore the events leading up to their crime, the legal proceedings that followed, the impact of their case on the juvenile justice system, and how their tragic past may have played a role in this gruesome act. Stay till the end to learn about the surprising twist in their lives after spending almost 2 decades in prison, the lessons we can take from their incredible story of resilience and redemption, and the role they now play in advocating for change. As we delve into the lives of Curtis and Catherine Jones, prepare to be shocked by the chilling details of their crime, the complexities of the legal system they faced, and how they managed to change the course of their lives after being released from prison. Curtis and Catherine Jones had a tumultuous upbringing. Raised in Brevard County, Florida, the siblings faced the horrors of abuse, neglect, and an unstable home. Their mother was absent from their lives, and their father was hardly able to care for them. After their father's relationship with their mother ended, he allowed a male relative to move in, who would become the root of the siblings' torment. It was in this household that Curtis and Catherine experienced physical, emotional, and even sexual abuse from a family member who lived in the house, which would ultimately become a significant factor in their decision to commit murder. It was later revealed that the reason their mother wouldn't take them home was that her children were biracial, something that the mom's family wasn't willing to accept. The abuse the siblings faced was unbearable. They tried to reach out for help, telling family members, friends, and even their teachers about their horrific living conditions. However, no one seemed to take their pleas for help seriously. It was this lack of support that pushed the young siblings to their breaking point. Feeling cornered and desperate, they decided to take matters into their own hands. Catherine, just 13 years old at the time, faced a deeply distressing experience in her own home. As she took a shower, she heard the bathroom door open, and a relative proceeded to rip the shower curtain away and stare at her, violating her privacy and sense of security. The traumatic event led Catherine to withdraw from her family. She stopped joining them for dinner and secluded herself in her room, seeking solace in isolation. It was during this time that she began writing in her journal, expressing her anguish and desperation. She penned the chilling words, "I'm gonna kill everybody." This marked the turning point, setting the stage for the devastating events that would soon unfold. On the fateful night of January 6, 1999, Curtis, then 12, and Catherine, 13, armed themselves with their father's 9mm handgun. The siblings decided that their first target would be their father's girlfriend, Sonia Nicole Spates. In their minds, Sonia was an obstacle, standing in their way of their pursuit of help and protection from their abusers. They believed that by killing her, they would be one step closer to freedom from the horrors they were experiencing daily. They waited for the right moment to strike, ensuring that they wouldn't be caught in the act. When the time came, Curtis and Catherine confronted Sonia, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and determination. With their hands trembling and their eyes filled with tears, they killed her in cold blood, making the gruesome choice to end her life in the hope of finding a way out of their abusive situation.
With the last 2 bullets, I shot out the patio window, and I told my brother that he got hysterical. He had an emotional breakdown because, once again, this is reality now. This isn't some idea that's in our head anymore. This is reality.
Their plan to kill the others, including their father and the family member, however, never materialized. Overwhelmed by the gravity of what they had just done, the siblings panicked and fled the scene. Realizing the enormity of their actions, they sought refuge in the woods, where they would spend the night grappling with their emotions and the reality of their crime. As they hid in the woods, the police launched a manhunt to find the young killers. The siblings' brief taste of freedom quickly turned into a nightmare, as they were eventually discovered by the authorities. Confessing to their crime, Curtis and Catherine would soon face the repercussions of their actions. The siblings confessed to the killings and were charged as adults due to the severity of the crime. They pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and were sentenced to 18 years in prison, followed by a lifetime of probation. Although their childhood had been nothing short of tragic, their actions had severe consequences, leading them to become the youngest convicted adult killers in the United States. The case of Curtis and Catherine Jones quickly gained national attention, with media outlets across the country covering the story. The public was both shocked and captivated by the young siblings' horrific crime, and opinions were divided on whether they deserved sympathy or condemnation. Some saw them as victims of a broken system that had failed to protect them, while others viewed them as cold-blooded killers who should face the full consequences of their actions. The case sparked intense debate about the treatment of juvenile offenders and the need for reform in the juvenile justice system. The trial of Curtis and Catherine Jones shed light on the complex issues surrounding child abuse, neglect, and the impact of such traumas on the mental health of young people. The case forced society to confront the harsh reality that children who endure abuse and are not given the help they need might resort to desperate measures in search of an escape. It raised questions about the effectiveness of social services and the responsibility of the community to protect and support its most vulnerable members. The case also highlighted the challenges in determining the most appropriate punishment for juvenile offenders. The siblings were tried as adults due to the severity of their crime, a decision that sparked controversy and discussions on whether it was just to treat children in the same manner as adult criminals. Advocates for juvenile justice reform argued that young people's brains are still developing, making them more susceptible to poor decision-making and impulse behavior. They emphasized the need for a more rehabilitative approach, focusing on addressing the underlying issues that contributed to the criminal behavior in the first place. While in prison, Curtis and Catherine underwent an extraordinary transformation. Both siblings took full advantage of the educational and rehabilitation opportunities available to them, earning their GEDs and attending college classes. Against all odds, they managed to make the most of their time behind bars, turning their lives around and setting the foundation for a brighter future. Curtis became an ordained minister, while Catherine pursued advocacy for juvenile rights. Following her release from prison, Catherine began a remarkable journey of rebuilding her life. She was awarded a presidential academic scholarship for college and managed to maintain an impressive 3.75 GPA. To support herself, she worked at Sonic every night and secured her own small place to live. Additionally, she reconnected with her mother, striving to build a healthier relationship. She became involved in organizations like the ICANN, dedicated to reforming the way juveniles are sentenced in the criminal justice system. Catherine's work with these organizations has become the most important aspect of her life, as she believes that her pain now serves a purpose. Through her advocacy, she wants to convey the message that youthful offenders possess the ability to change, and that her story might serve as a beacon of hope for others in similar circumstances. During their time in prison, Curtis and Catherine sought spiritual growth and emotional healing, which played a significant role in their transformation. They began attending religious services and participating in support groups, where they learned the importance of forgiveness, both for themselves and for those who had wronged them. The newfound sense of spirituality allowed them to come to terms with their past and set a new course for their future. They understood that they could never undo the terrible actions they had committed, but they were determined to make amends and become better, more compassionate people. They also became advocates for prison reform and the rights of child victims, using their own harrowing experiences to raise awareness and help others who might be facing similar challenges. The story of Curtis and Catherine Jones had a profound impact on the community and the legal system, prompting society to confront complex issues surrounding child abuse and neglect, as well as the importance of providing support and intervention for at-risk youth.